Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2, Bits of Behrend podcast. I'm your host, Noah Bartholomew. I'm joined by Dan Dabrowski. Dan, nice to have you here again.
Nice to be here again.
We have Professor Tom Doe. He's on the mic for us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you. This is a lot of fun. Thank you.
The Penn State Behrend Athletics Department is asking for everyone to pack the Junker Center this year for all winter sports. Our home openers for men's basketball is Friday, November 8th against Allegheny at 7. Women's basketball team goes Tuesday, November 12th versus St. John Fisher at 7. And the wrestling team will host St. Vincent Wednesday, November 13th at 7. Swimming and diving team has already begun their season. They are next at home on Saturday, November 9th at 1 p.m. versus Westminster. Dan, you want to talk about some of the promotions that we have coming up?
Yeah, we have some really exciting stuff, not only to get you to pack the Junker Center, but to make it worth your time as well. We've got schedule magnets for wrestling during their home match against St. Vincent. We also have old school pennants for the basketball games and rally towels, spirit towels as well. Be on the lookout for a lot of food promos as well. We know you'll like that.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting year. Big expectations for all the winter teams this season. That brings us to our first guest on the Bits of Behrend podcast. We will be doing previews for all the winter teams. Pleased to join by Tommy DiRienzo, a graduate guard for the men's basketball team. Tommy, thanks for coming on with us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys having me on.
So currently, the men's basketball team has 7 newcomers this season, 6 freshmen, 1 transfer, and 11 returners. They're returning 3 of their 5 starters. Tommy was their leading scorer last year at 18.7 points per game. Matt McDonough, 14.3 points per game. He was an All-MCC second-team selection. And Mason Blankenberg with 10.2 points per game. Some of the accolades for Tommy last year, he racked them up big time. He was the AMCC Player of the Year. He's the NABC All-District 7 first-team selection, Eastern Collegiate Athletic Conference first-team selection, D3Hoops.com All-Region third team. He finished the regular season as the AMCC leader with 468 points, first in the conference in free throw percentage, and second in the conference in points per game with 18.7. Tommy, nice to have you here, man. Team expectations this year. How's practice been going for you guys?
I think practice has been going great. We just had a scrimmage Saturday, so a lot for us to kind of learn from that. So, but no, everything's been going well. Just kind of focused on getting better each day, and something we kind of talk about at practice every day is stacking great days and just taking all the good things from practice and kind of leading that into the next day. So something we talk about is stacking great days. So that's kind of one of our focuses right now, and just kind of taking it one day at a time. And once we get into game time, be one game at a time. So one day, one game at a time is kind of our mantra right now. So just try to maximize each day and get better in any way we can. And it's all about us. So that's the focus right now, and just listen to what Coach says. Obviously, he's been coaching for 30 years, so he knows what he's doing. So just kind of listening to him, and yeah.
That's awesome to hear, Tom. Yeah, so obviously a lot of things were clicking for you last year on the offensive end. You shot 48.6% from the field, 38.8% from 3. And as Noah just mentioned, a conference-leading 86.3% from the free throw line. What was really working for you from day one last year that led to all that success?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, Coach Nyland puts all of us in spots to be successful and positions to be successful. So it kind of lets us play to our strengths and puts us in spots on the floor where we can play to our strengths. So I think a big part of it, is him and kind of letting us go and just kind of play our games. And I think, another part of that is just our group, specifically the group we had last year. We had a really unselfish group with great senior leadership like RJ, Matt, Steph, and Owen. So those guys, kind of helped, bring everyone together. We just had a, really unselfish group. We always looking for each other on the court. And I think everything, like last year, just kind of went back to stuff we do every day at practice. And we work on those actions that we run, obviously, plays, all that stuff every day. So, and then like individually, I think the goal every year is like 50, 40, 90 for those numbers you mentioned. So felt like early on, at least here, I didn't, probably shoot it the way I wanted to. So just kind of goes back to working on my game and, adjusting to the college game. You talk to all the freshmen here. I think you're, talk to an older guy. It's a big adjustment going from high school, court's bigger, wider. There's a shot clock, which you don't have in high school. So I'm from Pittsburgh, so Pennsylvania, we don't have a shot clock. So it's just kind of 3-point lines farther back. So just kind of adjusting to the college game. I think you'll see with some of our younger guys this year are going to be a year older. Their numbers will kind of improve. I think another thing that helped me is probably my dad just helping me work on my game. So when I go home every summer over breaks, we kind of work out together. So definitely pushes me. Definitely, he's tough on me. A lot of tough love, but he's definitely made me better. And I don't think there's any dad out there that's put in the time with their son that he has with me. So that's something that I've got older, become more grateful for, and I know he always got my back. So he's helped me a lot with my game over the years. So big credit to him too.
Tommy, some could say that you had the clutch gene last season. In postseason play, you recorded a double-double in the AMCC tournament, averaging 20.5 points per game and 12.5 rebounds. In the ECAC tournament, you registered 31 points per game and 11 rebounds per game, which is it's very impressive. Hit some big shots. I remember I was watching the Altoona game. Hit that little hook shot over. That was a great game to watch. Just kind of, what is your mentality when you look up at the scoreboard late in the second half and know that the game is coming down to like the last shot or the last free throw?
Yeah, I think in those situations, coach puts us in those scenarios every day at practice. And those moments are things we kind of work on every day. So at the end of practice, usually we'll kind of run through those situations, play them live, and then he'll kind of bring us in and talk to us about them. What we could have done better, what we did well. So we're kind of, I wouldn't say like used to those moments, but like we have experience because coach puts us through that every day in practice, and we're kind of ready for different situations based off the scenarios he puts us in practice. And I think, the mentality-wise, in those moments, just kind of trust each other and trust your teammates. I think that's kind of what's helped us in the past, and what helped us be successful last year is how together our group was. And, it's an unselfish group, play for each other. And I think, in those moments, you just kind of have to trust everyone. And that kind of just goes back to how close you are as a unit. So, like Steelers play tonight, I'm sure everyone will be over watching that. I went to a movie last night. So that just kind of speaks to like how close we are. And when you're close like that, there's a trust factor too. So I think we all trust each other, but talk about, mentality wise, I think kind of just goes back to your level of preparation in those moments. So
That's awesome. Yeah, talk about being close with your teammates. You mentioned him earlier. R.J. Marsh was a very close friend of yours, teammate, as well as now an assistant coach with the program. Can you give us some insight on how that transition's been for him, and playing with the guys that he used to play with? Now he's on the coaching staff. How's that been for you so far?
Transition's been great. So I don't think we could have asked or gotten a better person in there. Obviously, we had Shuley last year, and he was our guy. So when we first heard he was leaving for IUP, we're always obviously really happy for him, but it's kind of a double-edged sword. You're still kind of upset because you're losing your guy. He's been here for the past 3 years, so we didn't know who we were going to get. And the one night, RJ called me and told me he was going to be our assistant. And at first, I thought he was like messing with me, and I was like, well, why would you do that kind of thing? But then he was like, no, I'm serious. So we were all. I know everyone went through, I think we have like 18 or 19 guys. We're all like super excited to have him back. So, he's one of my best friends. So it's kind of finding that balance of being a coach now too. But, he's been great for us. He's a great basketball mind. He's been great with film. He has clips from us every day at practice. We had a scrimmage Saturday. So he broke down the film for all of us. He's been working us out too. So he's been great on the floor in practice. So like I said, we couldn't have asked for someone better for us. And, he's a great basketball mind. So it's just good to, happy to have him back and happy to be around him every day.
So along with being a men's basketball player, Tommy's also the SAAC co-president with women's basketball senior Amber Carr. Can you get into some of the little bit of duties that you have with SAAC, and what's that all about on campus?
Yeah, definitely. So just kind of trying to be a voice for all student athletes on campus and kind of represent them in any way we can. So we kind of try to do a lot of things, at least for student athletes, but kind of going back to like SAAC and stuff, I think we're very fortunate at Behrend, because Coach Streeter kind of runs our SAAC committee. And obviously we all know him and how hard of a worker he is, and he's kind of, best in the business. So it's good to have him be our leader and kind of point us in the right directions for everything. So, and I think I've kind of learned my 5th year here now. I've been on SAAC for, I think 4 of them. So just kind of learning about what other SAACs do. I think we're very fortunate here. I think we have a good SAAC program, and it's because of Coach Streeter. So we actually had our SAAC like AMCC leadership conference about 2 weeks ago. So all the SAAC members from all the 8 or 9 AMCC schools came here to Behrend, and Miss Donna Ledwin, our commissioner, kind of, we had a meeting. We played pickleball, the night before, and then we had like a 6-7 hour meeting. So they had brought a bunch of speakers in, so that was a good experience just to kind of talk to different people from different schools and stuff like that. And we try to do like some of the things we do. We do Lion Pantry, where we donate to, all the sports teams bring food in, organize dances each year. So Division 3 weeks in the spring. So we've already talked about what we're going to do each day for that and how we can make that the best thing for our student athletes. And Dan kind of talked about earlier some of the pro milk giveaways for games. We kind of discussed that. So just anything, our student athletes need, and just kind of trying to be a voice for them, and anything we can do for them, we try to do.
That's awesome, Tom. Thanks for that. Let's switch gears a little bit. I want you to explain the nickname Bones. I've heard this for the past 4 years that I've known you. I've always called you Tom, and that was just my thing. Other than that, I've just always heard Bones. Can we get a little insight into that?
Yeah, so I've pretty much been Bones my whole life, honestly. So especially if I go home, I'm just Bones. Everyone calls me Bones. No one really calls me Tommy back home. But I guess that nickname kind of, it came up here as well. My dad started calling me Bones when I was like 2, just because I was so skinny. I was Skin and Bones, and like I said, he kind of started that, and it just kind of stuck. So I was pretty small growing up, so. You could kind of see why everyone, called me Bones. So like I said, it just kind of, he started calling me that when I was little, and it just kind of stuck. So
I'm very glad to finally find that out.
Yeah.
I was also just wondering,
yeah.
back to SAAC, just kind of, if you want to get involved as a student on campus or anything, just reach out to Tommy. I'm sure he's happy to help you out.
For sure.
They're doing their mental and physical health virtual town hall, which is on Monday, November 18th from 8 to 9:30 p.m. It's obviously virtual online. Registration links can be found at PSP Athletics Twitter and Instagram bios. So if you want to get involved in something like that, it's a big promotion there. Leads us to our last. It's kind of a fun segment for our guests. Tommy, you're stranded on an island.
Yep.
You can choose one person to be with you,
Yep.
one celebrity or athlete to be with you,
Yeah.
one item, and then one lifetime supply of food and drink. Go ahead.
All right. So one like teammate, is that what you said?
It can be a teammate. It can be a parent. Anybody.
I'll probably say my teammate Sam Pacharka. So I'll take him, and then next one was a celebrity.
One celebrity or famous athlete.
I don't know. I mean, I've always been a big LeBron fan, so maybe I'll say him. I don't know. I'll pick his brain a little bit, so I'll go with that, I guess. And then food.
Yeah, one lifetime supply of food and drink.
Yeah. So my favorite all-time food is lasagna. So I guess I'll go with that. So some good eats there.
That's good. I like that.
And then drink will probably just be water. So
And then you can have one item with you too.
on an island,
On an island. Yes.
I feel like I'd have to take like a boat or something so I could try to find like other people to save myself. So maybe something like that. I don't know if that counts. But
I like that. I'm glad you didn't say your cell phone, because eventually your cell phone will die and there's
no service or anything.
Exactly.
So yeah.
But yeah, I like that. Tommy, it's been great, man. A lot of insight on the season. Good luck with the season, man. I expect big things again from you and the team. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you.
So that was Tommy DiRienzo, men's basketball graduate guard. You can find him in the Junker Center all season long for home games. Now we're going to get into our recap from last week. The number 24 women's soccer team, yes, I said it, the number 24 women's soccer team, they are ranked now again, went to St. John Fisher Wednesday afternoon, wrapped up conference play with a 2-1 comeback win for the Lions. Lizzie Hoff and Trinity Prestash scored goals. The Lions are once again ranked in the United Soccer Coaches Top 25, standing at 24, just over the University of Rochester. Fun fact, Dan, we played the University of Rochester last year in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, this is true. I'm sure that the women on the team would love to have that one back last year, but being ranked and playing this well going into playoff season, that's got to feel really good. They're back with a vengeance, and they have all the capability in the world to make a really deep run.
Yeah, this is the second appearance for the Lions in the top 25. They were last ranked number 25 on September 10th when they defeated number 8 John Carroll 1-0. The Lions also rank second in Region 7, ahead of Case Western, who they played earlier this season. So, the Lions, women's soccer team's great year for them. The men's soccer team wrapped up non-conference play with a 3-0 win over Waynesburg on Wednesday. Blake Cooper had scored 2 goals. He now leads the team with 9 goals. Chris Profaka had an unassisted goal. Saturday, the women's bowling team, they won 2 traditional matches over Dieuville. They had a season-high traditional team score of 963. If you've ever been to a bowling match, the format is usually traditional games, which is I'll bowl my 10 frames, my teammate will bowl my 10 frames, everybody adds it up for the team score at the end. The Baker matches are each person is assigned a frame. So I might get the first frame, Dan might get the second frame, and so Professor Doe with the third frame. Usually the last bowler is known as your anchor bowler, is your most important bowler. So I don't know if, Dan, you'd be the anchor bowler.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I struggle mightily in bowling. I don't know. We might come up with that. That might come up again in later episodes. I am quite bad at bowling. I would definitely not be the anchor. I'd probably pick Tom as my anchor, and not you, Professor Doe. No offense.
That's okay. You haven't seen me bowl yet, so you have no idea what I'm good at or not. But thank you. Back to you.
I mean, Tommy's an athlete, so I think he could do it. I mean,
Probably the worst bowler on this campus, I'm not going to lie. So probably wouldn't move me doing that.
so the foursome team here in the radio studio would not do well in bowling.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I do like to bowl, but this may sound crazy. My first game is always my best game. Like if I go out and I play like 3 games that night, okay, or maybe 4, whatever, my first game is always my best, and I don't understand that.
I can agree with that. I feel like if I go out bowling with friends, I never want to play well my very first game because it gets to my head, and then the next 2 or 3 games just do not play well.
Well,
So yeah, women's bowling. If you've never followed the format in college, that's what we're doing.
fortunately for us, we can leave that to the professionals on the Penn State Behrend women's bowling team.
Exactly.
They're excellent.
Steve Benke and company, they do a good job there. The women's volleyball team picked up a 3-0 sweep at Carlo on Saturday. Big win for them. Freshman Cadence Jones led the team with a double-double, 15 kills, 11 digs. The soccer seniors were honored, both men and women, 8 men, 6 women. The women won 8-0 over Carlo. 5 different players scored goals. Audra Kuzma and, of course, Trinity Prestash scored 2 goals. Prestash also had 2 assists. Dan, that's 9 straight wins for the women's soccer team. They're outscoring their conference opponents 38-1. I'm running out of words to say about them. So if you have something that you want to add.
Yeah, they're red hot. They've got, this whole campus feeling really excited, about tournament play and beyond that. So, we'll keep riding the wave and keep watching them do well. And we're looking forward to tournament play.
This past weekend, too, the men's water polo team was in action at the Gannon Invite. 4 tough opponents, McKendree, Salem, Gannon, and Mercyhurst. So not some of the results they wanted, but some good play for them. Jack Hole and Nick Thompson each scored 9 goals. Obviously, they're looking forward to their end of the season trip in November when they go to California to compete in the conference championships.
Yeah, we're excited for that. It'll be a nice trip, not only, because they're going to California and getting out of the eerie cold weather, but they have a chance to make a run in that as well. They're very capable.
So just mentioned the women's soccer team. Have to update everyone on Trinity Prestash, where she at in career goals. So last week mentioned she scored 3 goals. She's now at 18 goals this season, 41 points, which is absurd. She just passed Jordan Oberlander, who is the assistant coach on the women's soccer staff. For second career goals, she's now at 61. She sits 4 behind tying Alex Bilka with the school lead, 65. So obviously 5 goals. She breaks the record. Just talking to Patrick O'Driscoll last week, and he said she's just a different player. A lot of defenses you can't really. They put two girls on her, and she kind of works harder than the whole defense. She can get around anybody. She can beat anybody. She's not afraid of contact, and she's obviously you're built as a goal scorer. You can score in any environment. So it's fun to see her play.
Yeah, I mean, she is unbelievable, especially watching her play live. She has a way of just making defense look silly and getting, the soccer ball in the net as well. So, if you guys have a chance, make sure you get out and watch Trinity and Company continue to have success. We are tracking this record, and we're very eager to watch it go down. But either way, what an incredible season by Trinity. What an incredible career for all the seniors on this Penn State Behrend women's soccer team.
Yeah, I mentioned all the seniors. For the men, we had John Zerobro, Blake Cooper, Jaron Bay, Jonathan Swan, Chris Profaka, Aaron Kovach, Jacob Gajewski, and Andrew Casano. For the women, Trinity Prestash, Megan Kraliski, Nicole Croushore, Anna Smith, Sydney Barnett, and Audrey Kuzma. We just want to thank them for all their hard work, dedication over 4 years. Have given the teams just great competition, and just thank you for everything. Now we get into our Lions of the Week. We actually have one of the Lions of the Week who was a senior, and that is Jaron Bay. He actually scored his first goal of the season, his second collegiate goal, to cap off the Lions' 4-0 win over Carlo. So that's awesome. When I saw Jaron score that goal, he's a great person to be. He's come to the office a lot, talked to me. Great person to be around. He's a hard worker. Dan knows. Dan's on obviously the track team, a big team. Tommy knows. It's the guys at the end of the bench. They're just as important as the guy who scores most of the baskets, or is a national champion or All-American or anything like that.
Yeah, Jared has such a positive attitude. He's been awesome to talk to. Known him for 3 years. It's just so cool to see him have that success, be able to net a goal. They're not easy to come by, especially in this sport. So, whatever that is, it deserves to be celebrated.
Yeah, and then we had a women's bowler the first time after the week. Lily Holt, who's a junior. She helped the Behrend women's bowling team to their victories over Deauville. Holt led the Lions in their first traditional win with an individual game high of 229, which is very, very impressive. She tallied a team high total pinfall of 430. So congratulations to Lily Holt and Jaron Bay for being our Lions of the Week. So now we're going to take a look at the upcoming schedule this week. Obviously, like Tommy mentioned, student athletes, students in general, Behrend community, come out to games. They're fun to watch. They're competitive. It's good. We put a good product out there. The men's soccer team is taking on Hilbert at 7 o'clock at the soccer complex. The women's soccer team will be on the road at Hilbert for a 3 p.m. start. Those are both regular season finales for the teams. Obviously looking forward to AMC's tournament play. Wednesday, the women's volleyball team will be at Hilbert at 7 o'clock. Another conference test for the Lions, hoping to move up in the rankings and the standings. Saturday, the men's water polo team will be in the Junkers Center Natatorium for the first time this year, and the only time this year. So if you can make it out, they play Gannon at 11 a.m., and then they will honor their 3 seniors at 5:30 against Mercyhurst. The 3 seniors, Jack Hole, Connor Bradley, and Leighton Vrano. So you can come out. I know Dan's been to a couple men's water polo games. They're enjoyable. They're fun to watch.
Yeah, awesome atmosphere. Big week for Behrend Athletics as a whole. Obviously, you have your home soccer matches, you have volleyball, and senior night on Saturday as well. Not to mention cross country. That's going on. It's a big time week for Behrend Athletics.
Yeah, absolutely. The women's bowling team will be at Niagara University Fall Open, and that will be in Buffalo, New York, at Classic Lanes. The cross-country team will compete in the AMCC Championships, Greensburg, Pennsylvania, at the Westmoreland Fairgrounds. Some of the top times this season for the cross-country teams, the women's top time in the 6K, they own 11 of the top 15 6K times, which is very impressive. Lindsay Hartle has the top time for the Lions, which is third in the conference rankings with 24:045, which she ran at the Gettysburg Invitational. So congrats to Lindsay. And then for the men's top 8K times, they also own 11 of the top 15 times in the AMCC, with Lucas Boyd being number 1 in the conference with a 26:49.2 at the Gettysburg Invitational. So some impressive times Hope to see some fast times from them and another conference championship, hopefully, Dan.
Yeah, both the women and the men are geared up, right? They're ready to go. AMCC times is always an exciting time for cross country. I can speak for us on the track team. We're very excited to watch them drop some amazing marks and bring home another championship, which is not the first and certainly won't be the last. No. We have some awesome young talent, and we're going to bring it home for the seniors.
It is certainly not the first, but there will be some first AMCC champions this year with the two AMCC champions last year for the Lions are both currently not on the team. So we're looking for another AMCC champion, which would be exciting for those athletes. The swimming and diving team will be at Pitt Bradford on Saturday at 1 p.m. So if you want to travel to Bradford, Pennsylvania, it's a good time to see the swimming and diving team in action. Sunday's a big day for Behrend Athletics also. The women's bowling team will finish up action at Niagara with 5 traditional matches on Saturday and then the 5 Baker matches on Sunday. The men's wrestling will have their season opener at the Lycoming Invite. I've talked to head coach Caleb Garvey. He's very excited to get his team going out of the practice room and onto the mat for real. 36 guys this year on the team. It's a big number. There's a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores. Just excited to build off of what he did last year for sure.
Coach Garvey's got a deep team. It's been amazing to see what he's done with the program in just a few short years that he's been head coach. He's been building on his success year by year, and really pumped to watch him do it again.
Yeah, and if you're unaware, congrats to Coach Garvey and his wife Courtney for their baby boy, baby Jack. If you haven't met him, he's about 3 months old, and he has a lot of personality. So if you get the chance on campus to meet him, he's awesome. Yeah,
it's definitely worth it. He's adorable.
And then rounding out Behrend Athletics for the week, women's volleyball will be playing a tri-match at Pitt Greensburg. They will face Greensburg at noon and then Shenandoah at 2. So their last tri-match of the regular season for the Lions. Hope to have good outcomes for them. Oh, and now we're going to get into our segment, Nothing to Do with Sports. Tommy, you can definitely chime in on this one. This is a good one. And we also have Professor Doe in on the action.
Thank you.
So here's the question for everybody. It's Halloween themed, obviously. Dan's favorite holiday, if you didn't know.
Love Halloween. It's arguably the best holiday of the year. I can see the argument for Christmas. Listen, we're not going to debate this. This is not what we're going to do today. But, it's a great holiday. It's definitely worth, celebrating.
Is it an actual holiday?
Of course.
We don't get paid holidays. We don't get off for it.
I think you should get off for it. 100%.
We also don't get off really for President's Day, but there's some places that do. So
yeah,
I don't know.
If the banks are closed, it's a holiday, right?
Hey, listen. I think, the return that you get from going trick or treating for Halloween. Obviously, not at our age, right? We're in college. We're working professionals. So you have your kids go out and trick or treat. You have candy for however long you want, right? You can ration that however long.
Well, all right. When was the last time you went trick-or-treating?
I was probably 12.
All right, 12. Noah?
I'd say 10 or 11.
Yeah,
Tommy, give it to us.
Probably somewhere in that age group as well.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to admit I was in college, and I went out with my girlfriend. As you guys know, I'm a tall guy. My girlfriend's not my wife, but my wife stood, she's 5'2". So she went out in a costume that kind of covered up her face. I forget what it was. It was a monkey. It was a homemade monkey outfit. And I was like her dad. And we went out trick-or-treating, and we did good. It was fun, but...
you had dessert for a month.
Yes, it was very, very good.
Dan, I'm actually surprised by your answer. I would have expected you to say last year I went out trick or treating. But I know Dan puts on a show at his home if he wants to tell you about his garage.
Oh, I love Halloween. Yeah, I go back to my parents' house every year. I have quite a collection of decorations. We try to do a different theme every year. For Halloween this year, we're gonna do swamp themed. I have a ghillie suit that I'm ready to put on. We make the kids earn it. They get a fright out of it.
That's good stuff.
These kids definitely earn the candy we give out, but we definitely reward them on the back end. And, if you get extra scared, you might get a full-size candy bar out of it.
Wow, that's a good deal.
So if you're listening, here's a spoiler in the Erie community. Dan Dabrowski's house, you will be scared.
Yes, but if you're scared enough, you'll get a big candy bar.
So it might be
Worth it.
good to say fake it. If you're not, say Dan doesn't scare you, just fake the scare and get the candy bar. Honestly, it's your best bet.
Hey, you can give it a shot. I'll be more than happy with you being scared anyway. So we'll make it happen. Yeah, really excited. Halloween's on a Thursday this year, the 31st. It's a Monday when we're recording this. I'm already almost, finished with my preparations. We're dialed in.
He's ready to go. That's awesome. So here's the question to the studio: is it acceptable to hand out anything other than candy to trick-or-treaters? Dan, I'll start with you.
I would say yes if it is higher in value than the candy you're handing out. I would rather take, a couple of nickels and dimes than, peppermint or butterscotch or maybe a cinnamon hard candy.
I don't, nickels or dimes? I mean, come on. What are we, like 3? I mean, I think that, because you could take that other stuff, the other candy that you may not like, and you could sell it to somebody else and like maybe make a couple bucks on it instead of nickels and dimes. But that's just me. I don't know. I don't know.
That's an interesting take, though, Dan. I was thinking more when I thought of the question when I was doing my preparations with the question. I was thinking more of like when somebody like you ever got fruit, somebody handing out fruit at Halloween or like a bag of chips or there's something that's just not related to Halloween at all, but they just hand it out to you. I don't know if you've ever received anything like this when you've been out.
I think fruit's disastrous. You can't hand out fruit on Halloween. That has to be outlawed somewhere or everywhere.
It could become a weapon. I mean, someone will take that fruit and throw it at your house because you didn't get candy.
That's equivalent to handing out eggs.
Exactly. I mean, back in my day,
You're just asking for it.
Giddy up. Back in my day, you handed out fruit. Mom would take it because there might be something bad that they put inside the fruit. So, yeah, that's definitely. I wish I had a sound effect for, but I don't have one of those yet. But no fruit. Yeah. Sorry, it's good. Fruit's good.
Yeah, definitely not fruit. I could argue chips, or Cheetos, or something to that effect.
Maybe like a Keebler item. Cookies or
oh, that'd be great.
Effect, maybe
yeah, or even those little favors, party favors. Something fun like slime or a Slinky. Something that'll really get the parents excited. But
I'm kind of with Dan in this aspect now, though. I'm thinking about it just as a 10 or 11-year-old kid going up to a house and like knocking on the door, and they just hand you like a $10 bill. Like I feel like my night would be made.
Where are you trick or treating?
But I'm saying my night would be made if you didn't hand me a piece of candy, but you hand me like a 5 or a 10, I'm set. That's awesome.
You can get quite a bit of candy for that.
That's what I'm saying. Like you just.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to interject a story?
Absolutely.
I would love that.
All right, good. Here we go. Back when I was in 7th grade, I couldn't go out trick or treating because I had to get my appendix out. My appendix almost blew up. Okay. Well, the people where my mom worked, they heard I couldn't go out, so they got me a full-sized shoebox full of full-sized candy bars, and they filled that thing to the top. And that was my best Halloween ever, is when my appendix almost blew up inside me.
Wow.
But the candy was well worth the payoff or risk or whatever. It was good times.
Yeah, once you recovered from that, I bet you were happy as a lark.
Oh, yeah.
You were thrilled.
It's funny because my sister was kind of ticked off because, she went out normally around the neighborhood and she didn't get half as much as what I got.
Yeah, but does she have her appendix still?
Yeah, she still has her appendix.
Well, I mean, hey, I guess an appendix for a shoebox full of full-size candy bars, that's a fair deal. In my eyes.
If you think about it, nowadays a full shoebox full of candy bars would cost. What do you guys think? Like $30, if not more.
Yeah, if you're buying them all, single serve full size candy bars. Oh man, yeah, you're paying exorbitant prices.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus, the price of candy is crazy anyway, but man, that would be quite the get nowadays too. Holy smokes!
Yeah, that was a heck of a gift. That's a Christmas gift.
It almost was. I wrote him a thank you note. It was very nice.
All right, I have a burning question. Tom, what was your favorite Halloween costume growing up? Do you have one?
Wasn't a big Halloween guy, honestly. I'd have to think about that one.
Wrong answer.
Dan's disappointed.
Yeah, wrong answer.
Well, obviously, Dan, you must have one. What was yours?
So, okay, I do have an answer for this. This pumps me up. When I was
He's excited. Very excited, folks.
no, it was about I was 12. Yep, I was 12 years old. It was about 2013, right? I saw this optical illusion on the internet, and it looked like, you were sitting in a box and somebody else was carrying you. This has been since copied a lot, right? But I, built this costume to look like I was sitting in a box and this other guy was carrying me around.
That's
and I
cool.
thought that was the coolest thing.
That's absolutely cool.
The execution was not ideal. I think I could do a lot better now, but it was definitely my favorite. I got a lot of laughs in the neighborhood.
Did we ever find out what Tommy liked?
What is it, Tom? What was your favorite Halloween costume? You got to pick one.
It's a long time ago.
Don't say basketball player.
I think I was. I like a. I don't know. Thinking. I think I was like a Penn State football player one year. So maybe I'll say that.
I'll take that. That's a win. Big game this weekend. Ohio State.
Huge,
big news.
Huge game. It's gonna be rocking. It's gonna be rocking.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hopefully, I'm gonna make it down there. We can see Penn State knock them off for the first time in a very long time.
Be awesome.
I think if you want to talk about the year's the year, this is the year. This is the year for them to do that.
Yeah.
I think
if
this
there's
is the
any year.
best, in the best spot opportunity for them to do that this year.
Yeah. I thought last year was the year to do it. But Penn State's playing really well right now. Ohio State's looked shaky. They played Nebraska really close last week. We handled business against Wisconsin, albeit, with some injuries. But hey, it's looking up. At least it'll be a good matchup. Game days down there. It's exciting to be a Penn State student and football fan.
Absolutely. It's a great setting. So we got on the Penn State topic as we were talking about Halloween candy. So that shows where our heads are at right now.
Did we even talk about what your favorite candy is?
Favorite candy.
Favorite candy. I mean, something that you'd go there and you saw them put that inside your pillowcase or your bag, whatever it might have been. What was your favorite candy?
When I was younger, my favorite candy was probably the Three Musketeers bar.
Oh, right here. Give me 5 right here.
If I got one of those, I was elated. Honestly.
Why?
Me too. I don't know.
Just something about them, Dan. When I was little, nowadays I don't
no
I don't
texture
care
to
much,
them.
but when I was younger, Three Musketeers all the way.
Wow.
I agree with that when I was younger. Nowadays, it's like you said, it's just fluff. But back in the day, man, it's good stuff. Three Musketeers.
Wow. There's nothing satisfying to a Three Musketeers.
Then he must be saying.
Dan,
what if he's saying satisfying? What's that candy bar that satisfies you? Is that your favorite?
Not a sponsor. Snickers is great on Halloween. Excellent. Or Reese. Just a classic Reese cup.
The white chocolate or dark chocolate?
You gotta
or
go
regular
dark-
milk chocolate?
Regular milk chocolate.
Yeah, I get you.
For sure.
I agree.
Yeah, 100%. Tom, what's your favorite Halloween candy? I know you're off on the costume.
I'd probably go I'd probably say Skittles. I'm not a big chocolate guy. I don't really like chocolate, so
Skittles.
probably
that's-
stay away from the
it's
chocolate and
interesting.
say Skittles.
That'll do.
See, I'm not a huge Skittles person. I've never been a huge. When I get a Skittles and Halloween bag, I just kind of give it to my mom or give it to my buddies.
I'll take it,
Yeah, give it to Tommy. I wasn't much for the Skittles.
Do you have a favorite Skittle, Tommy, as far as the colors?
I like the wild berry ones the best.
Which
but,
are those, the purple ones?
The purple bag, yeah.
There you go. Good
So
job.
that's-
Give me 5.
Yeah.
That was excellent.
Here's
Absolutely good
a
job.
hot take though from your teammate specifically. Matt McDonough said a hot take once in the soccer press box. He said that all Skittles taste the same. Those were the words that came out of his mouth.
He has a lot of hot takes, McDonough does. So I don't know if I agree with that one, but I'll talk to him later about that.
Yeah, no offense, Matt. That's categorically false. I mean, the green Skittles taste awful, in my opinion.
But it wakes you up. You bite into one of those, like, oh. Same with the yellow ones.
Yeah.
It's like Pledge.
Pledge flavor.
It's like you lick the kitchen table.
After you just dusted it.
Sorry, Matt. Didn't mean to put you on the spot in
No,
the studio.
man, I
You can't
respect
defend
it.
yourself. But if you're ever interested as a student on campus, go ask Matt McDonough what his diet consists of. And Tommy knows what I'm
A
talking
lot of
about.
peanut butter sandwiches.
It'll be interesting. He has not tried a lot in life, that
No.
man.
Likes what he likes.
Exactly. You can't fault him
Loves
for
peanut
that.
butter sandwiches and Donato's pizza on
We have had the
Buffalo Road.
Donato's Pizza
Donato's.
talk. He does.
Yeah,
he does love
He had one
Donato's.
last night. He had one last night when he came over. That's his go-to.
I didn't expect to disagree with Matt this much. I'm a Donato's hater.
Really,
Oh, he loves it.
It's
He
it's.
loves it.
I will say from a price, it's expensive. It can get expensive,
is.
but from quality, I'm a fan, Dan. And
Wow.
obviously, I'm not an Erie guy. This is my second year here in Erie,
Right.
so
Yeah, I would take a John's pizza.
I love John's Pizza. It's great.
John's is yeah.
I really like
Is-
their food.
I mean,
think they have great food, personally.
Yeah. I mean, the portion size is unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, $12-13 and you get a pizza. I mean, you can't possibly eat that all in one sitting by yourself.
It's a good pie. It's a good pie.
yeah. Dan does not sponsor any of these companies that he is.
John's, what are you talking about?
John's Wildwood Pizza.
Yeah, up the road, up the hill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is, oh my gosh, you're right. Okay, now I'm on board. I was thinking John's. I thought maybe it was Papa John's, but no. No, this other stuff, though, yeah, giddy up. That stuff is phenomenal.
Yeah, excellent pizza. And for the price, you cannot beat it, especially
Right.
as a college student.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it up there. It's great.
That's fresh.
Yeah, so that's our talk today about our food talk and our Matt McDonough talk. Sorry, Matt McDonough again.
Love McDonough. He's my guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
It's my boy. Yeah.
Good player, really great player too.
Great
If
player,
you
great player.
catch him as basketball, he can shoot the ball very well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the segment. Nothing to do with sports. Be sure to talk about our upcoming guests also. That will be on this, along with other student athletes like Tommy. We'll have some women's basketball players, some wrestlers. And then we'll get into the spring season. We'll have swimmer divers, and then baseball, softball players. So just an abundance of great student athletes will be on the show this year. We'll also have John Leisering hoping to join us. I talked to him this past weekend. Tommy knows John, the voice of Penn State Behrend, the PA guy for men's basketball and women's basketball games. He's been a lifer here at Behrend.
He's a man.
And we love him here. We love him here. Mentioned head wrestling coach Caleb Garvey. He talked to me. He wants to make an appearance at some point. He said hopefully we're winning at that point. So I hope he comes on the show and he's happy. He's not upset. So assistant soccer coaches Matt Bellino and Cody Johnson have expressed their interest in coming on the show. And I'll have to get Tommy in on this too. Potentially the man in charge might come on, Brian Streeter.
That'd be a great podcast.
Love to get
That'd be a
Streeter.
great listen, for sure.
That one's gonna be a little bit of a tough one, but hopefully maybe by the end of the year we can convince him to come down and get in the studio.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
Yeah, I think it's more of an impossible task to get him 30 minutes of free time.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always doing something.
That's true.
The man is busy, but he is also a man for the people. And if I tell him the people want to hear it, then he'll be like, okay, I got to do it then.
Certainly do.
He's good people. He's truly one of the nicest people that I've met. And like you said, he's for the people. He's always for the students, everybody. He's just a great guy. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, we wouldn't be sitting here doing this honestly without Brian Streeter. He's the glue. He's the glue that holds everything together at Penn State Behrend Athletics. So
Absolutely.
thank you to him and shout out to him for sure.
Nobody else is clapping. Oh, well. That was me, Brian, in case you heard that.
All right, so to wrap up, be sure to catch Bits of Behrend every Monday at 12:30 on BVZ Radio. You can also listen at home or at work on the Behrend Athletics YouTube page or Bits of Behrend on Spotify. On behalf of Noah, we thank you for listening for yet another week of the Bits of Behrend podcast. Thank you, Tommy DiRienzo, for coming in. Thank you, Tom Doe, for producing this episode. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks everyone. I appreciate it. Let's do it next week.